Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to a new edition of the Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Coulter. And to my far right, I got my co-host, Kevin Johnson, KJ. And in the middle, today's special guest, I have a former Georgia Tech defensive end. This guy right here used to also play for the Buffalo Bills. Now he's coaching football. Y'all welcome our special guest today, Izaan. What's going on, big dog?
How we doing, fellas? Thank y'all for having me on, man.
All right, man. We appreciate you coming on to the Sports Shop 27. For the people that don't know you, let them know where you're from and a little bit about your background.
All right, yep. So my name is Coach Izaan Cross. I'm originally from Boston, but I served the majority of my life, lived the majority of my life in Georgia. And I'm just, a former ball player turned coach that's just real passionate about, giving back to the youth and helping these kids receive the same experience that I received throughout the game. So I'm ready to just spread my knowledge.
All right, cool. So for the people that are watching, let them know how you started playing sports. That's normally, hold on one second, let me add KJ back in. All right.
Can you hear
Go
me?
ahead, KJ.
All right, man.
Okay.
Hey, what age you start playing sports, and what sport was your first love?
So my story is a little bit different. So, I said I was originally from Boston, and playing ball up north is much different than down south. And they had weight limits in Boston, and I would have had to play, I think I was like over that 100-pound mark when I was 6 years old or so. So I would have had to play with 13-year-olds when I was 6 or 7 years old, and my parents weren't going for it. So actually the first sport I ever played was soccer. And as a bigger bodied child, just getting my footwork right, working on my stamina, things of that nature. When I was finally able to move to Georgia and, weight limits weren't an issue no more, I was turned into the biggest kid on the field with the best footwork and the quickest feet. And it was a recipe right there, So I originally started playing soccer and I embraced it and just utilized that to get in shape and move around. And, I didn't know what was going to turn into, but by the time, I finally was able to put the pads on, it was the rest was history from there, man.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So when you played soccer, what position did you play?
I was all over the field. But they mainly had me playing in the back defense, mainly had me in the back. I was just mainly the protector and get the surge started in the front. But, I just had a really strong leg, powerful leg, and quick feet. So I'd usually cut off somebody that had a full steam ahead trying to score and get the ball and start, transition going the other way, But we were so young. I was 6, 7 years old. So all I knew was just, kick the ball, run, play hard. That's it,
Yeah, that's right. Hey, talk about what pro athletes you looked up to. It could be NBA.
Okay.
NFL.
I mean, so pro athletes that I looked up to, soccer was the first sport that I played and it eventually turned into football, but I also played basketball. My parents, my parents were big basketball players. My mom, big time basketball player, played college basketball and whatnot, all the way up until she had my older brother. And, so I was always, the bigger bodied kid, baby Shaq, come on with me, baby Shaq or just growing up, I grew up in that era, watching the Shaq and the Kobe, the Tracy McGrady, the Allen Iversons. I grew up kind of in that era, and then once LeBron came through, then it just became all about LeBron and things of that nature at that point. But, I grew up watching a lot of basketball, man.
That's right.
So describe Boston at the time when you were growing up in that area before you moved to Georgia.
Okay, so for me, what I truly just remember, that's where the majority of my family is, and my mom's brothers and sisters. So, we just had that real, a lot of cousins, you know, that was that atmosphere for me. A lot of cousins. I always go to my aunt, my uncle's house, my granddad, my nana, their house. It was just, in my younger years, was just surrounded by a lot of family and a lot of church, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and then just as, you know, just the weather in general just being just totally different. You know, I mean, I remember, you know, snow days were true snow days. You know, I live in Georgia now, and, you know, if there's any ounce of snow or just a talk about snow, the whole city freaks out, you know. But
Yeah.
up north, shoot, you know, I remember we could go out there, we could jump off, you know, something 10 feet high, go right in the snow, and it not be no problem at all. You just, you know, just fluff right into it, you know. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, talk about middle school ball. What all sports
okay.
did you play in middle school?
All right. So middle school, finally, boom, middle school. I'm in Georgia. I moved to Georgia. You know, I start in, you know, 7th and 8th grade at C.W. Davis Middle School is where I went to. That's right across the street from the Atlanta Falcons training facility in Flowery Branch. And, you know, just that was just a time frame when the separation really gets started between some of the other athletes your age and some kids who played in elementary school and whatnot decide they don't want to go further and whatnot. You really start seeing a difference, you know, from a football standpoint and a basketball standpoint. You know, middle school ball, you finally have tryouts and things of that nature. And, you know, that's where you truly start seeing, you know, the separation. And for me, you know, I was more so definitely one of the bigger and taller kids in my grade, you know, but I was, you know, always able to, you know, be one of the better moving athletes at that time frame, you know. So my middle school experience, the team that I kind of grew up with, you know, from a basketball standpoint, we were like a family, and we would play AAU ball together as well outside of the ball that we played with, you know, our middle school team. And no, that just helped us, you know, just get the camaraderie together and really do some big things when we went to high school. But, you know, from a football standpoint, I was that big body kid that was playing fullback, linebacker, you know, blitzing every play, you know, get the ball in all the short yardage situations, those type deals. I was that kid, you know. I was the check the birth certificate kid, you know. That was me, you know. Like we got to check the birth certificates before the game. That was me. And if they did that, that'd break my heart, because I'd be like, man, I'm only 12. Y'all don't see it, you know. But it'd break my heart, but it'll light a fire in me, man. And once the ball game started going, I'm like, I'm gonna prove to them that I'm 12 today, you know. That was my thing. But yeah, that was kind of my middle school experience in a nutshell, man. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you go into high school. Now you still playing basketball and football, correct?
Mm-hmm. I go to high school, still playing basketball, football, but I transferred to Buford High School. And, you know, it was a whole family move. I got an older brother. I got 2 younger brothers. All of us were athletes. We was a big-time athletic family. My younger brother under me played running back at the University of Nebraska. My older brother ahead of me played basketball at Alabama A&M University. So that's 3 D1 athletes back to back to back. My youngest brother, he's 6'7", was a track star in high school and ended up, you know, being a big-time ball player at an NAIA program in Kansas. So we was all athletes, but, you know, so, you know, buzz kind of got around town once all of us made a name for ourselves in middle school, and Buford was the big talk back then. And, you know, even now, I think they've won, you know, 15, 16 state championships in the last 21 years out here in Georgia. So it's a big time powerhouse, and it wasn't too far from the area that we was in already. So we made that big move over to Buford, and we experienced that atmosphere. And from right then and there, it was from my experience, it was a true full-fledged D1 factory. You know, we had linemen going to LSU, North Carolina, Georgia Southern, University of Florida, University of Georgia. Just there was like 18 Division I prospects on that one high school football team, you know. So by the time I was a my sophomore year in high school, and I was a full-fledged varsity player, didn't play any JV or nothing like that after my 9th grade season. There was no doubt in my mind that I was a Division I ball player, just because I was in the mix and, you know, performing well against some of those guys that already had some of those big time offers or whatnot. You know?
All right. So, name some of the schools that were some of y'all rivals in your conference back then.
At Buford, my freshman and sophomore year, some of our rivals was Greater Atlanta Christian GAC. That's another big time private school out here that pushes out a lot of athletes. We played Cartersville High School. That was a big time, the big time powerhouse program as well that we had some big time battles with. But outside of that, when I was in Buford, we kind of really just truly ran the tables. I mean, legit. When I transferred to Flowery Branch my junior and senior year, we were more so playing against Gainesville High School. That was the big time rivalry for us. That's the same high school Deshaun Watson came out of. AJ Johnson out of the University of Tennessee. He's now been in the league for about 5-6 years. Taylor Jones, he went to Notre Dame and played in the league for 5-6 years. That was kind of our big time rivalry at Flowery Branch. My quarterback, I know y'all are South Carolina folks. My quarterback in high school was, I think is the best quarterback in the University of South Carolina history, Connor Shaw. That was my quarterback in high school. His dad was my high school coach, and his older brother also played with us as well. So we kind of really truly ran the tables during my time frame in that area of Hall County. It was only just really us in Gainesville and maybe a North Hall as well. There was a big time wing tee offense, real disciplined type of team that didn't take no crap from nobody. But it was really those three programs from a football standpoint when I was growing up.
Wow. Hey, how far y'all go in the playoffs in football?
My freshman and sophomore year, we lost in the third round of playoffs. Junior year, we lost in the first round of the playoffs. We just had three really strong ball players, and the rest were just athletes that had a ceiling. You know what I mean? For the high school level. My senior year, we lost in the state championship game. And it was man, I think about it to this day, man. The state championship, you get all the way to the end, but it was a great ride. It was a great experience. And my senior year, actually, I won state defensive player of the year in 2009. And then I had the wave of all the offers, the wave of really focusing on where I'm gonna go to school. So once the season was over with, it just became straight about business. After my senior season.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. So did you play in any All-Star games, Georgia Florida game or anything like that?
Right. Yeah. So we had a North-South All-Star Classic out here in Georgia. Kind of just the top ball players from North Georgia, top ball players from South Georgia. We link up and had a big type of deal. But that's it. I didn't get the U.S. Army invite. I didn't get the All-American invite. All the other games, I really truly didn't care about. You know what I'm saying? So I just stayed in that local. North-South game. Did that and just really focused on where I'm gonna go to school because I was one of those ball players that committed on the later end.
Okay.
Just because I had to wait on my official visits because my folks wasn't driving all over the place, during that time frame to see, not on our dollar at the time. No way. Yeah.
I understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know you chose Georgia Tech. What other schools was looking at you at the time? I know it's a lot.
Yeah. So I like to say, and it still stays true now. Like if you can solidify yourself as one of the top ball players in Georgia, you're going to be fine recruitment wise, But for me, my first offer was Georgia Tech, of course. That was my very first offer. My second offer was University of South Carolina. My third offer was Central Florida. And my fourth offer was Oklahoma. So once I got that Oklahoma offer, that's when everybody else came knocking. Basically the only ones that were bigger offers that I wanted that I didn't get. I didn't get a University of Miami, and I didn't get a Notre Dame, and I didn't get an Alabama. But outside of those three, the majority of the SEC, the majority of the ACC, and Conference USA at the time. The Big 10, Big 12. I had, I was in that 30 to 40 offers pocket coming out of high school.
Congratulations on that. That's nice.
All right. So
Clemson too. You know what I'm saying? I decided not to do it. Not to do it because my recruiting coordinator, Ron West, he ended up coaching at Georgia Tech later on. But Ron West, he was recruiting at the time frame when I was there. And I was getting recruited right before Dabo took the job. It was the year right before Dabo took the job was when I was getting recruited. But Coach West told me in my living room that I was going to redshirt. And that was enough for me at the time frame. I didn't want, for me, I just thought about extra school. When I heard redshirt, nobody really sat down and told me the benefits of that extra year, So once I heard that, Clemson was out the window, man. I ain't want nothing to do with it after that.
I ain't sit down, dog. Yeah.
It's play now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about going to Georgia Tech on your visit and what persuaded you to go there.
It was my first official visit, and like I said, I didn't take a lot of unofficials. I had a lot of offers, but I didn't take a lot of unofficials. My parents were just telling me more so to just wait until the officials because they'll accommodate me on the officials. And you kid from Georgia, I was able to visit a couple schools in Florida and stuff like that, University of Florida, Central Florida, Florida State. But going to Oklahoma or going to West Virginia or Maryland or, places, squads, programs all over the place. We wasn't going to do that,
Yeah.
So Georgia Tech was my first one. I had all 5 lined up, but, I was a victim to the last minute pressure, So think about it. Georgia Tech, I'm only an hour north of Atlanta, but being in that, just an hour north of Atlanta in Flowery Branch, Georgia, and, being in the city of Atlanta, even though it's an hour apart, they're like two totally different atmospheres, two totally different environments. So I didn't feel like I needed to be far away from home to really feel like I'm away from home, So that was one, because I did have younger brothers and I wanted to go to their high school games and be close and things of that nature, and then everybody was selling me on the education, and no, I wasn't a brainiac in high school, but, everybody was just like, shoot, it's close to home. You want to be close to your family. The education is unreal. And then the year that I was getting recruited, Georgia Tech beat Georgia, So, and me being a kid from Boston, all I know is the Patriots, you know what I mean? So the whole UGA versus Georgia Tech rivalry don't really mean nothing to me. All I know is Georgia Tech beat y'all that year I was getting recruited, So you take a 17-year-old kid, bring him to the city of Atlanta, entice him with all the lights, entice him with all the city, and you wine and dine and you feed me real good.
Oh, gotcha.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap,
Yeah.
So that process happened, and then once I got towards the back end of my visit, they hit me with the, hey, we want you. You're priority. You're the number one defensive end on our board. But if you don't commit soon, we're going to have to offer other DNs that are ready to commit right now. So we can't promise you that we'll save a spot for you forever, because I was trying to tell them, I want, y'all just hold tight. Y'all are my number one, but I want to go to my other visits, So deep down in their heart, they knew if I would have went to, North Carolina and saw all that Jordan gear, stuff like that, or went to Oklahoma or Auburn came in the mix late. If I would have went to one of those programs, they knew they probably wasn't going to keep me. So they hit me with that pressure, man. And I was like, you know what? My parents were so happy and so enticed in the environment. Everybody wanted me to go there anyways.
Okay.
My high school head coach, his son, J-Bo, Connor Shaw's older brother, was going to Georgia Tech the year in front of me. So the coaches were always in our, at our school and whatnot. It just seemed like the right fit. So all I needed was a good official visit to kind of seal the deal, and I was going to probably go ahead and do it. So that's how I ended up there.
Yeah, that's what's up. Hey, what coach or player welcomed you to the Yellow Jackets?
So I had my official visit with Derek Morgan, who he ended up getting drafted, number 22, 23 overall in the draft. Played for 10 years, got the franchise tag, so he was a All-American at the time. He kind of really, enticed me with the being an all-star in Atlanta type of vibe, Then I had, Steven Sylvester, who came up the second day on my official visit, and he was somebody who was closer in age to me. And, he really sealed the deal for me, but all of the players embraced me. I mean, especially as a young player that was going to, be in the mix. We had Demaryius Thomas on our team, rest in peace, from the Denver Broncos. He was always, a positive vibe, always an encouraging vibe. Joshua Nesbitt was our quarterback. I think he was, the top rushing quarterback in the ACC at the time. He was all love, just, all embracing us and all the players. All the old heads were so cool and down to earth and really just, it really truly felt like a family-like vibe when I was there, So, I was good with it. And back when I was playing, you couldn't just hop in the transfer portal, just go on to another school. You had to sit out a year. So, once you was really locked in and felt a comfortable vibe with a program, you really wasn't going nowhere. You know what I mean? But, it's totally different nowadays.
Soon as the season over, they gone.
Yeah, they gone, man. They might even be they might not need the full season. They getting up out of there,
Yeah, man, for real.
What's your opinion on the NIL situation now in college?
So shoot. I'm a little mad because I think I probably would have ran into some money when I was playing ball, so it's a good opportunity for them. It's a good opportunity for them to get money, but I think it's wild and it's taken away from, the genuine vibe of college football, but it's become more of a business. And now if you're a Division I athlete, you're essentially a pro athlete nowadays, So I think there's pros and cons to both of it. But at the end of the day, you still got to make them plays to be any type of relevant, You still got to be the cream of the crop ball player, or you're not gonna, receive the notoriety or attention that you want, regardless of, what the NILs are talking about or what the school can do for you. You still got to make them plays.
Yeah. Hey, talk about your first start with the Yellow Jackets, man. Did you have a?
Okay. My first start. My first start was against Virginia Tech. Tyrod Taylor at quarterback, Ryan Williams at running back, David Wilson at running back. He ended up getting drafted to the New York Giants. That was my first start, and we was playing Virginia Tech at home, and they were the number 4 overall team in the country at that time frame. We upset them at home, and I really didn't have to do much. I just do some more contained type of stuff, and because we had a first-round defensive end on the other side, but just that atmosphere right there with a Thursday night lights type of atmosphere, against Virginia Tech when they was loaded, and being in the city of Atlanta. I'm talking about getting the field stormed, all that. That was my first wake up to college football, my first start, and I'll never forget that. That was crazy.
Yeah, man. We got some highlights right now. We can go in real quick, showcase some of the techniques that you use on the field in the ACC.
Cool.
For everybody that's watching, please subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify and Deezer. We have special guest Isaac Cross, former Georgia Tech defensive end and former Buffalo Bill. All right, let's go ahead and get into that clip.
Riley out of the backfield. Pumps. Now throws and almost it is. Intercepted Izaan Cross. Holy smokes. Cross was battling with Russell Bodine, the center, who had pulled out. And Izaan Cross intercepts Brent Renner at the 21.
Yes, sir. We're back. Special guest, Georgia Tech defensive end, Izaan Cross. Just watched the highlights. He had an interception on the last clip. Talk about you maintaining outside containment and coming downhill and rushing the quarterback and making big plays in the backfield. What's the key to maintaining outside containment?
Just make sure you get off the ball and don't have a delayed reaction when the ball is snapped from your timing, initially off the ball. And, just understand where your gap responsibility is, in the defensive end's instance, he has the C gap, or depending if he has a tight end or not. But make sure you keep contained, but also make sure that you're closing in on that pocket and, getting as close to the quarterback as you can. So you either want to get a pure sack or you want to disrupt that pocket and make it uncomfortable for the quarterback, So, I'm all about teaching and talking D-line stuff all day. That could be a whole other podcast in itself.
Yes, sir. We're gonna invite you back on. I just wanted to ask that question to see what you were gonna say. But I appreciate that. Go ahead, KJ.
Yeah, what was your favorite move though? I know a lot of them like use the swim move technique. What was your
right? So the working my hands, maybe throwing like a chop to get the offensive lineman's hands moving, and then you follow up with a club and a swim after it. You got your hands moving rapidly, but once you come at one move, and then the offensive lineman shoots his hands, and you follow up with a club swim or a club rip. As long as you get your hip squared off to the quarterback, you're gonna be straight every time. So I would always do that, or I would always, because of my background and I did play in basketball a little bit. It more so be that stutter bull, which is kind of like a Euro step on the basketball court, but you get off the ball, close the distance between you and the offensive lineman, give them a little shimmy, and then hit them, square it on. If you get them moving in the opposite direction and you get them open up, they usually fall on their back, man. It's hilarious. So those are my two moves, like a speed to power stutter bull type deal, and then that chop club swim.
There you go. That's good. Yeah. Well, we got another clip we want to show. You had a good career at Georgia Tech in the ACC. You had a pro day. We got some highlights of the pro day during that time. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick, okay?
Okay.
Thing with this drill, as you all know, because you've done it, it's a right-hand drill only, okay? So you're going to get down in your stance, everything up to the line without touching it, right hand only, right hand only. You go down, bend, make sure you physically touch that line.
So we're approaching NFL draft day this month. Just talk about that experience during your era. You had some clips of you guys working out. How did you feel working out in front of the NFL scouts for the first time?
Oh man, that was an unreal feeling. I just, I felt like I was in really good shape from my training. I was with Test Sports Academy, and we trained on FIU's campus in Miami. So I took that time frame. I withdrew from school. I had about 30 hours left, but I wanted to focus on just that process. And at Georgia Tech, we have a degree completers program. So as long as you finished out your playing eligibility, you could go ahead and pursue your NFL career, and you can still come back whenever on them and finish up your degree. So I, took that time frame off, went to Miami, got in great shape, and things of that nature. But the only thing that I was truly nervous about was the first day that I got out there, I tore my quad. Running the 40, right during the process, when you're supposed to really start training for that specific number and really start training for, to really impress. So, and when it came in regards to my times and things of that nature, I just wanted to survive. I just wanted to have a decent time, because, not too many people saw it, but I would feel kind of that hitch when I really start trying to open up and run my 40, or really start trying to open up when I do, my L drill, get in and out of my cuts. It wasn't truly noticeable, but I would feel it, So, I just wanted to survive. And once I got to the actual drills and football portion of my pro day, that's when I really impressed and really opened up some eyes and, had some teams, had some true traction. So I knew that if I didn't, truly get drafted, I knew I was going to find at least somewhere to land to be able to compete for an opportunity to make a roster based off of my senior season that I had, which was pretty decent, and the actual drills phase of my pro day, and the way that I moved around and stuff.
All right, cool. So you end up going to Buffalo Bills. Talk about that a little bit. Going to the locker room. Who's the first guys that welcome you in there?
Man, so I walk into, the Buffalo Bills locker room as a priority free agent, essentially no stain, essentially a walk-on in college, and I got Mario Williams that just signed a $100 million contract in the room, 6'8", 300 pounds, washboard, shredded abs, look like a Greek god, I'm playing behind him, trying to just stay relevant,
Right,
you got Marcel Darius in the room coming out of the University of Alabama, number 3 overall draft pick, just came off of multiple Pro Bowl seasons, so I'm having to compete against those guys. You got Kyle Williams out of LSU, played in multiple Pro Bowls. They had a 3-man front, and all 3 of their defensive linemen were Pro Bowlers. At that time frame, Buffalo really wasn't that good, but their defensive line was on fire. So, just being in the locker room with those guys, being able to pick their brains and really see how they operate, and how to transition in some of those things into my repertoire elevated me so far, in a short time frame. I really saw true growth within myself as an NFL athlete than in college, because, I truly felt that potential. I mean, possibly which this is maybe biased, but I felt like my development was maybe staggered as a defensive lineman at Georgia Tech, because what are you seeing during that time frame? Triple option ball.
Triple option.
That's all you seeing all day long, so all off season, all during the season, I'm getting my reps against triple option offensive linemen, which, there's no knock on them, but everybody knows they're a little bit smaller, they're quicker guys, but pass protection and isn't their strong suit. They're chopping at those knees and things of that nature. So when I finally got into, an NFL atmosphere, when I was really working on my pass rushing technique and my craft and being able to pick the brains of those type of ball players, I saw fast, rapid movement. Rapid development. And, that's honestly just that little time frame that I was there. I have a multitude of different teaching tools and things of that nature that can last me way past my playing career just from being in that environment, you know.
All right, cool. So, how long did you play with the Buffalo Bills?
So I lasted one season with the Bills. All right.
Okay.
You know, and the back end of that tenure while I was there, I was on the practice squad, you know.
Okay.
So being on the practice squad, that's a day-by-day basis, you know. There's a good side to it, and there's a side to it where, you know, you're waiting on your phone. I mean, you're waiting on your opportunity, and you potentially might get elevated to the active roster, but there's another side to it. If there's a lot of roster fluctuation at other positions and other positions are getting hurt and things of that nature, you just got to kind of look the other way and hope that, you know, they don't come and knocking your way, you know, because it's truly a numbers game, you know. So once I got out of Buffalo, I did the off season and I was doing the training thing. And, you know, I had another opportunity with the Pittsburgh Steelers to have a workout. And, you know, they were looking for, you know, per their terminology, they were looking for more so of a outside linebacker / edge rush guy. Okay. And I was more so of a D tackle, strong side defensive end type guy. So it just wasn't a match at that time frame. So after that, you know, I did the workout again for a little bit and, you know, wait on the phone call, and that process wasn't solid enough for me. And I went back to school, finished, and turned into Coach Cross, you know, after that. Yeah.
All right. So talk about it, Coach Cross. What do you have going on right now? How did your team do last season? And talk about the school that you're teaching or coaching at right now.
Okay. So Coach Cross, that's me, you know, year round. That's who I am. That's my brand. But I have, you know, 4 different roles as Coach Cross. I am the owner of Beast Elite Athletics. That's a top tier 7-on-7 program out here in Georgia. And, you know, I have a multitude of top tier athletes, you know, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star guys. And then I have a bunch of athletes that are, you know, undiscovered, slept on guys that I truly try to help out with their recruitment and help elevate it for them. So I wear that hat and with having an actual 7-on-7 program. And then I have a 7-on-7 tournament series, which is bettering everyone around national tournament series. So I have different locations. I hosted in Columbia, South Carolina. I hosted in Knoxville, Tennessee. I have a Battle of the Beast out here April 16th and 17th in Georgia. I have Defying the Odds 7v7 Classic in Defiance, Ohio on Defiance College's campus, May 22nd and 23rd. And then I have a Nationals back in Atlanta, June 11th and 12th. So I wear those 2 hats. I'm really involved in the 7-on-7 pocket. I am the head coach at Georgia Knights Prep Academy, you know, as well. And that is that post-grad process, helping kids with that extra gap year in recruitment, helping to elevate their recruitment campaign through, our academic avenues and our competitive schedule. So, you know, if y'all know guys that, you know, are late bloomer types, you know, or, you know, don't really have the grades to qualify, but you know they're ball players, those are the guys that you send to me. And I help elevate their recruitment campaign. And then lastly, I do the football director for Flexwork Sports Management. So they host a lot of camps for high caliber NFL athletes, and I'm in charge of the football operations aspect and make sure the kids have a good, you know, experience and actually learn something outside of just interacting with the athlete during that time frame. So, you know, with those 4 hats, you know, outside of the football director at Flexwork, which is more so just fun and games, youth sport, youth camp type deal, with my tournaments and my post-grad, you know, we're all about, you know, I want to win, man, you know, point blank period, you know, because, you know, winning is fun. And also, you know, you win. It's more so the process of getting to the victory, you know, and all the hard work that's entailed in getting to, you know, that phase when you become a dominant program, or the relationships that are built, you know, during that time frame, or, you know, just the camaraderie that you have with your teammates and those everlasting memories. You know, all those things when kids are competing towards a common goal and they really have undeniable hunger for success, you're going to win at that point, and that's when it's fun. You know what I mean? That's when, it's all laughs and stuff, you know, but don't nobody really want to talk about when they got thumped on, where they got destroyed by another team, or, you know, heartbreaking losses. They want to talk about when they did the thumping and did the dominating and things of that nature. So, you know, I'm really tough on the discipline aspects. You know, if I tell you to touch the line with your left hand, you better touch that line with your left hand. You hear me? You know, if you don't touch that line with your left hand, we got to start all over again.
All over again.
You're not paying attention to details, you know? And if you can't pay attention to details, even the small details within my practice, then how can I trust you on game time to make a play in a tough situation? You know, it doesn't make sense to me, you know? So that's my vibe as a coach. I just wanted to give it to y'all for a little bit. That's all.
Yeah, man. Hey, talk a little about the Trevor Lawrence camp, man. My son had a great time.
Right. So that was awesome. And that was our first camp since last June when we did the Keenan Allen camp in San Diego. But, you know, Trevor, you know, he had 660 plus kids in the first session. And then in the second session, it was, you know, right around 400. So all those kids had an opportunity to interact with Trevor, you know, take a photo with him, you know, play ultimate football with him, things of that nature, like a little game of tag. And they experience, you know, different football drills. Even if they were kids that never played ball before, they at least have some type of foundation, you know, being able to say, hey, I learned this at the Trevor Lawrence camp, you know, and had a little bit of phases sprinkled in there for them to compete. So it was a good day, but it's definitely more so of you know, youth camp, fun in the sun type of environment, as opposed to, you know, an exposure type of format when, you know, we're doing times and, you know, really notoriety. I mean, put some high notoriety on the players and things of that nature. It's more of a fun in the sun type deal, you know.
All right, I understand. So, you got any message for the youth coming up? Anybody that's watching?
Oh man, so for the youth, you know, and I deal, and I give a general spiel, but, you know, I deal specifically nowadays in the football pocket. I'm Coach Cross, you know, so I'm gonna talk to, you know, student athletes right now that are really trying to make a name for themselves in that trajectory. Everything is about competition, okay? And it's not good enough to just be, you know, the best in your school or the best on your team. You got to work to be the best in your state, the best in the country, or else you're going to get washed in the mix. And, you know, somebody who is really intact with college coaches and really intact with, you know, that phase of recruitment, opportunities are slimmer nowadays than they were when I was playing, when y'all were playing. You know, all we really had to do was get our name in the paper, you know, and have and pass the look test. And if your coaches had a good mouthpiece about them, you probably had a good chance of being a Division I ball player. You know, nowadays, you know, academics cannot be bypassed. You know, you have to be on top of your game academically. And not only do you have to pass the look test, you have to have astronomical film, and you have to stand out from an earlier age. You know, if you are a late bloomer type in this environment, it's going to be tougher for you to get those type of looks that you're looking for, you know? So I always preach having an undeniable hunger for success, and, you know, whatever your goals are, you have to push relentlessly. And I tell kids all the time, I said, if your peers or your family members don't think you're insane or super duper passionate about your craft and what you're doing, and they can't truly understand it, you know, then you ain't going hard enough. You know what I'm saying? If your folks don't think you crazy because all you want to do is work out, all you want to do is watch film, all you want to do is study, if they don't feel that way about you, you not going hard enough. All right. So that's all I got for you. You know, y'all young student athletes, you know, boys and girls, whatever sport you play, You have to strive to create the separation every single day and to be different. You know, if you're not different and you're not standing out, then you're just going to get caught up in the mix. And, you know, once you get caught in the average pool, it is what it is at that point. You know what I'm saying? If you just want to be average, you know, it's tough out here to get opportunities if you average. If there's nothing impressive about you, if you're not super fast or, you know, super strong or, you know, have outrageous ball handling skills if you're a basketball player, or if you don't have anything that is special about you, you need to find another dream or occupation or whatever, because it's going to be tough, baby. It's going to be tough.
That's it, man. Give it to him. Right.
Yes, sir.
Any shout outs before we head out to family members, teammates, friends?
Okay. Well, yeah. Well,
coaches.
You know, I want to shout out Chad Randolph at Georgia Knights Prep Academy. That is the founder of our program. I'm extremely grateful for him giving me the opportunity to be the head coach of that program. And, you know, just by being there for, this is going on my second season, and seeing how many life-changing situations that he's participated in and helping kids, you know, get another opportunity to go off to school and giving them like a last chance type of opportunity. You know, I just am extremely grateful for him. I want to shout out, you know, my wife and my 3 beautiful daughters. Okay. I'm Coach Cross all the time, you know, and sometimes they get a short end of the stick, but I don't mean it. I'm just trying to strive to be the best I can be so we can all eat together, you know?
Yeah, that's it, man.
That's it, you know? And, you know, just all the crosses, okay? I'm going to just shout out all the crosses. You know, we just went through a tough, you know, we just lost our grandma, our Nana, you know, not too long ago. And we're all, you know, still trying to recover from that. And she was, you know, really, really strong presence in all of our lives. She was super stern on her faith. She was super stern on, you know, staying true to what you believe in. And you know, having that mindset always made us different from everybody else, because we never wanted to be followers, you know. So we just grateful for our Nana. And I just want to tell all the crosses that I love y'all. And I appreciate you guys for letting me on. And also want to say thank you to my Flexwork family, my BEA family, and that's all I got. I appreciate y'all.
All right, man. No problem, man.
Yes,
well, it was a great episode, man. We appreciate you coming on the show. You come back anytime you like. You know, the shop is always open. For everybody that's watching, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify, Deezer, Instagram, and Facebook as well. We'd like to thank my co-host tonight, KJ, Kevin Johnson, former Clemson cornerback, and also tonight's special guest, former defensive end for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets and Buffalo Bills, Izaan Cross. Okay, yes, Coach sir. Cross.
Yes, all right. Yes, sir.
You guys make sure you tune in next time, and stay safe, and make sure you wear your mask. It's not how you start, it's how you win, KJ.
How you finish, man.
All right, man. We'll see you guys next time. Be safe. Peace.
Yes, sir.